Now that we've talked a bit about CSS, we want to talk about the first piece of kind of the anatomy of it, which is the selector. And this is saying what types of things can we apply the code to. So jumping into it, there are many different things or categories of things that we can apply selectors, or that we can apply CSS to. These are our selectors. The first is a type. So we can use HTML from a tag. So you can have it refer to everything with a P, or all H1s, or all A's for links, or any other HTML tag that we've learned. You can use that text as one of your selectors. You can also define a universal selector. And this, if you use an asterisk, that counts as a wildcard and it will pull everything. So if you had, for example, this at the top of your CSS file, any CSS you put in the middle here would apply to everything on the page, regardless of what it is. There's some nuance and caveat to that, but generally speaking, this will apply to everything. The reason you would use this will actually make more sense later on. If it doesn't become apparent and you're curious, ask me and I'll kind of help you through that. You can also define or select based on class. So if you type, instead of that asterisk up there, you type a period and then a class name that you've got, everything with that class will have whatever CSS applied to it. And I'm going to point out here that HTML element can have multiple classes. So for example, you might have something that looks like this, paragraph, and then you'll have class equals, and then class 1, class 2, etc. So you might say, oh, I want this paragraph to be, it's a descriptive paragraph, or it's a body paragraph, and it should be a quote. So you might say class quote, class body, or class descriptive. It all depends on kind of the setting and the situation and how you want to work things out. You can also select things based on the ID. So we learned before with HTML, you can set the ID of an individual element, and the ID is unique. So if you have an element with an ID, that's the only one that gets that ID. But if you want to use the pound symbol or the number sign and then whatever the name of the ID is, in the same place that you would have this asterisk, that will select that specific thing, and you can apply specific CSS to that element. And then lastly, you can define it, or you can select based on attribute. So if there's a certain attribute that you want to change it for, you can put that in brackets for elements. The most common one that you'll see is like if you want certain types of links to certain places to show up in a certain way, you can say like href. So you might have, say, all the links that go to Wikipedia, you want to have one color. All the links that go to another website, you want to have a different color. You can do this based on attributes, since the links will, or since the anchor link elements will have this already mixed into them. These will make more sense as you kind of play with them and use them in context. Not all of them are as useful. Type, class, and then maybe ID are by far going to be the most common you'll probably end up using in this class. But that's what we can select, and if you have any questions, as always, please ask.